where does this story go from here? After Jimmy Uso is the one to cause his brother Jey to not become champion and head of the bloodline.
Mm.
The Usos broke up.
I don't
Yes,
think they
Cal.
broke up. You think they broke up?
Yes, Mimi.
I think they're mad at each other.
You think?
I also think the Nile is more than a river.
Done. It go back to when Tyrese was on the bus singing. Them niggas got the beefing when Paul Heyman didn't start it, but he
Instigated it.
He threw the gas on the fire.
We'll talk because you mentioned that. You mentioned it that night, right, on SummerSlam night, and the next day. Talk about where you getting that from.
I'm gonna say the when you saw that interaction prior to Jey kicking Roman, when he was like, "Nigga, I'm trying to follow behind you." That's him getting his piece out, right? But Jimmy ain't ever get his piece out,
right?
So week after week after they put him out, you heard Paul Heyman talking about nigga that was supposed to be the nigga that went against the bloodline.
Right.
You only here because you got his ass whipped. You see what I'm saying?
I feel you.
It's him planting them seeds, yada yada yada. Yeah, Jimmy only hurt because of you, nigga. That kind of shit. So.
And so now it's just been up in his ear.
And when you look at the other photos, it's Paul Heyman in the back of them.
That's facts. I've seen, or even I was the tag match they had before this one.
It's Paul Heyman
right in the background.
So I'm just saying that Paul Heyman is the person responsible for this part.
For this,
yeah. There you go. Look at him.
He's right there, looking right over at him, holding delay and everything. But that's it. Like this the last time we're gonna see the Usos together. Like what's the
tired of brown niggas and hoodies though? They gotta have another way. Like come from up under the ring or something. Do something a little different.
He look like a hood ninja, low key. Like if he's like,
I'm getting my hoodie. I'm getting my bandana.
It's like Ghost in Power. When it's time to get to work, he got that one track. I'm sorry.
We always make that face, yo. When he go from like Jamie St. Patrick to Ghost, what do you mean? I'm like, hold on, nigga. You was just the same nigga in the suit a second ago.
I'm not sure if this Jimmy and Jey can last till WrestleMania. What's that?
No.
5 months?
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's 5 months.
Yeah.
August,
Rumble maybe, but not
December, January, February. Yeah, it's like 5-6 months. Yeah.
Yeah,
Rumble 4 quarters. They gotta do that 4 quarters somewhere in between, and then it's got to be a 3-way because we gotta wait. We're gonna have to wait for Solo because Solo ain't stepped out all the way. He gave us hints that he had a problem with Roman, so they have to dissolve that first too.
There's a lot,
and then we can get to a point. Right, so you're gonna have the explanation. The thing that struck me out of all this, the biggest is in the press conference. Paul Heyman said we're in the bottom of the third.
The bottom of the third, yeah.
Nigga, what?
And I said, "Is this still 9 innings?
Is this still 9 innings? Is crazy.
Yeah,
is this the bottom of the third quarter.
This it's gonna be like this for how long does this happen? That's the other question.
It can't.
If this is the bottom of the third, look at her. If this is the bottom of the third, how much? It's been 3 years.
I ain't got it.
Literally, didn't he win the title at the SummerSlam in 2020? Was that the pay-per-view?
2020.
Yeah, 2020.
Literally 3 years of this. That sounds like another 6.
Do they need another detour feud here? Do they need to be able to stretch this? Do they need like I don't know. I mean, AJ Styles just came back. Like, I don't know. Like, is that what they need? Do they need niggas to come in and have side missions, and then come back on. You know what I'm saying?
Roman definitely needs a side mission.
We're also assuming that he has the title that long because he may not.
I would like to be the side mission.
Here she goes.
Here
she go. Here she go.
No.
Here she go. Yeah. Well, but I will say, I think
blur everything up there.
How much longer is this then? If
like Kofi was saying, and this is part. I think that this is going to get ran back because of it. Kofi was saying they violated the tribal combat rules. So I'm assuming Jay's going to get a rematch because of the interference, all of the interference. I'm assuming he's going to get a rematch. So there goes your Payback.
You think Payback's going to be Roman Jey again?
It's called Payback. I'm assuming that because they didn't fight under tribal combat rules.
But I was assuming that it was going to be this. Payback for that.
So. That would be too soon.
What's the rules to tribal combat? Do you got to beat Goro at the end?
No.
Yeah, you got to dip your hands in the tape your hands and dip.
That's a whole nother fella. Yeah, you know what Tom Poe told him.
I don't
he
think
said some disrespectful stuff. She moaned like a whore. Oh my God, Tom Poe, why are you talking like this?
Corey, we talking about if you look back in the chat, we're talking about the Usos having to wrestle each other at Mania. But you're talking Payback, Jimmy versus Jey at Payback. Yeah, that makes sense in the story that it's called Payback. This nigga just helped him lose the match, but it doesn't make any sense to sell this at Payback unless it's the main event. It don't make sense to me. I could be wrong, and it's possible it is the main event. Is Roman Reigns supposed to be wrestling there?
I don't know. What if it's a triple threat?
Yeah, Roman Reigns probably ain't supposed to be wrestling in no Payback.
I'm assuming not, but I would assume that would mean his next match would be at Survivor Series because it's Payback, and then or at the Saudi show. It's Payback in September. There's Saudi show in November. Payback in September, Fastlane in October, and then November 4th is a Saudi Arabia show, and then Survivor Series later.
Is that India show in there too?
They are supposed. Let me check. They are supposed to be going to India, huh? India.
That's not.
Oh, really?
I always start seeing Shanky and gender.
Yeah, back in May. They said
they don't pull out old Canadian Rodney. That nigga just Rodney in Canada. Gender everywhere else.
WWE Superstar Spectacle is Friday, September 8th. I don't know. Do you even have Roman on this house show? Well, yeah, it may be one of those on the network, but not necessarily a whole what you call. But who knows? This is what's on the. I mean, this is who they have. I'm going to it. Gender may be the main event on that show.
Look at that whole left side. That whole left side.
That's what it is.
That's the niggas on the card right there.
Yeah, this is it.
They got the guy who Google Bowl.
You got to take Kevin Owens out of there, though. I'm with Rock. Rock said about the Usos brothers and the brothers fight. They'll be back together eventually. I don't know how long it takes. I wonder what the circumstances could be, but I feel like we're a trial of Jimmy Uso away from some major battle, and then them just being like, "All right, you done with the Us?"
Well, let me. More so what I was saying, not necessarily them not me. I'm not talking story. Like, are these niggas now a little too big for their britches? Because I feel like we're gonna see a lot of solo, not solo score, but a lot of like solo matches for these niggas, like all of them. And I think they're gonna get it. It looks like they're gonna get at a shot. So
what you think,
too big for
I don't think so. I think I don't know if they're too big for their britches. I don't know if Jey Uso can sustain solo. and I am a Jey Uso fan, but I feel like they're better together, and I think this is just for the story, and it's not going to last too long. I would like them to have a WrestleMania moment. I don't know if it'll. I don't know
if they keep them separate all the way to Mania.
Do I have a Jey Uso impression? I don't know. I was watching the Jey Uso SummerSlam vlog earlier,
right.
and he's a character for real.
He's so real. It's like talking to y'all in the Glide. He could be talking about something and then flipped and be super funny,
right?
Or make a comment, and I think that's why they don't believe that he could be the tribal chief. Like, he's just too.
They don't think
he's on
enough?
joke time. I don't think they think he's serious enough, and I think that's why Jimmy did it. Jimmy's like, first of all, I don't think that you have what it takes, and if you do, I don't want you to go to the dark side. So I feel like the betrayal was more. It wasn't really a betrayal. It was more of a, I'm saving you from yourself.
That's a wake up call. You saying?
Yeah, you think that you're going to be the same person, but you're not. You saw what happened with our cousin, and I don't want that for you.
This not a main map. Is this a main eventer? We about to see more solo Jey Uso.
First of all, if you are my brother, you better kick me behind the scenes. Don't you kick me in front of all these motherfucking people.
Right.
Don't kick me live on Peacock.
We not going back. We not going back to friends, nigga. I don't know how you thought the tribal chief should be. Don't you kick me in front of these motherfucking people.
Right.
Did you kick me live in Detroit? I hear that.
United Front.
I think that Jey Uso has came a long fucking way.
Facts.
It came a long way. And to see that, like, legit, when I saw him coming to the ring, I'm like, oh shit, that's real. Because he got the white on, he got the white leg. I'm like, oh, this is real. This is dope. And then to see him, like, yeah, he getting the crowd hype and all that shit. But to see the reaction to Jey Uso coming out, which you couldn't have told me this shit 5 years ago, that this is what Jey Uso would be doing. So he looks right. It feels right. I don't know if he's the world undisputed, disputed heavyweight universal champion.
He can take my title.
But all right, Mimi, get him out of there.
Nah, but I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
But he's there. I don't know if that's where he wants to be, because he still has, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if their plans are to be separated for a long period of time. So, but it looks right.
It looks right now for main event Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso to kind of be out. If they're solo? I mean, assuming that one or both of them goes and wrestles Roman Reigns again before Survivor Series, whatever the case may be. If they are not the Usos again until after Mania, are they staying in that world title realm? Are they at the US title area? I don't like. Do you have Jimmy Uso going for the IC title and getting drafted to Raw and going for an IC title or something like that?
I just like the story. For me, I don't care about them going. I mean, if they dip in and out of it, great. I don't think it matters, because I feel like it's more about the story than the title.
Yeah, I think
at this point, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, Mimi, but I think that it's less about a title picture when it comes to them now. You know what I'm saying? Because with like, I don't know if it's gonna have the same feel when you start to move the pieces around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Away from this large thing. If that makes sense, what I'm saying. Because he looks great coming down to the ring, but he looks great coming down to the ring against the tribal chief. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's going to look great coming down to the ring against Solo, and look great coming down to he wrestles Solo, but look great coming down to the ring against his brother. Yeah. I'm not sure what it's going to look like against Austin Theory. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that thing.
That may not be a thing, huh?
I don't know.
It feels like it makes sense for them to go solo, but it doesn't sound like we actually see them going solo. Because after the Bloodline story, if they're not going for titles or anything, then what are we doing with them? I would assume put them back in the tag team then.
Can you replace in this statement that Corey said? Can you replace the title with Roman Reigns? And what I mean is, Roman Reigns can go off and fight niggas, and these niggas can fight this out for months.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it can be in any kind of weird ways where they inject Solo and they have all kind of weird stipulations and all this until it come down to one nigga did something dirty. Like, cause maybe now Jimmy got Heyman for sure. So now Heyman does something dastardly in the rematch to where we have to actually get to it and maybe put that in the Hell in a Cell or something, because the Usos against each other in the Hell in a Cell could be crazy.
Damn. Chris Brown said you see him with Sami. He looked like a huge deal at Elimination Chamber and Mania, and now that he's out of Bloodline orbit, he's just another guy who gets a decent reaction. Damn. But how do they see it?
I think that's overstating.
Well, I was gonna say, because on Raw, the main event, Sami Zayn, I feel like he got an injury, but he was up in the mix with Cody and Seth, which to me looks like he would be in the upper echelon, especially going against Judge. I hear what you're saying, though. I think Sammy's definitely not as hot as he was.
He's still just saying. I kind of agree with Chris Brown, because he's still just a guy now. You placed him around. You put him in between Seth and Cody. You know what I'm saying? You could have put motherfucking Chad Gable in between them two, and it would have got a reaction.
Shorty G?
Take those two, yeah. When you take those two away, if you take Seth and you take Cody away, it's not going to be the same reaction. He's going to get that. He's going to get a pop, but it's not going to be.
I think Sami gets a bigger pop, though, I would say, than Shorty G.
No, of course, but what I'm saying is he's not.
He's not on the other level.
No, I don't think so.
This hierarchy is kind of the Uso situation is very interesting, and I like what Corey says here. That's exactly what's about to happen. Roman's about to be separated from the Bloodline story for a hot second.
Yes, that's smart, because that gives you the longevity in it. Is the story is the brothers now.
What if it's a situation? Because I really feel like this is going to get sewn up real quick. My thought is, Lashley's the guy. Lashley's about to start making.
That's what you think?
Those Lashley's returning. He's on TV. He's been on TV the last month, roughly.
Is he have matches?
Not yet. I think
we're feel like MVP.
He's building the block.
I will say, not this shot. This shot felt very MVP-ish when I was watching it back on YouTube. He was pointing at he's very much looked like endorsing somebody. But I think my thought is that this is all part of the plan. He's trying to assemble a squad because he knows that he's going up against Roman, and Roman at the very least got Solo. I think we're going to be seeing situations where Bobby and the Prophet's going to be they're going to start beating the shit out of people, and then maybe something where they start attacking Roman. At some point, I think it may be overwhelming, and I think Paul Heyman or somebody's going to have to go back and talk to these two and say, "Hey, quit fucking fighting. we got to get this money.
It's a war going
Y'all ever
on.
seen two brothers fight?
Yeah.
I watched the Briscoes fight on their farm recently.
Yeah.
It ain't nobody else's. Like,
Not facts.
it ain't no Roman.
Mhm.
Ain't no Paul Heyman.
Mhm.
It ain't no Solo.
Mhm.
Maybe Rikishi or they mother. Look, niggas they not stopping them from getting it shaken. They gonna get it shaken. Like, it's gonna happen.
But
Yeah.
for how,
But that part, it has to get to that point. The problem, I'm not problem, but I guess the question is, how long?
that's my question,
they?
right? Yeah.
How long are they gonna get it right?
Because that, I mean,
I think we're very, very far time wise from
April.
How the
from the goddamn Usos having a match together. We're a very, very far ways away from that.
How far?
a year?
A year?
A year?
Third,
You
isn't it?
9 months.
I don't
Oh,
know.
Large.
There's there's enough juice
I don't think
for
it's a year.
Jimmy versus Jey past Mania as a one-on-one solo story.
Nah, but it's enough. It's yes, but it's not enough to see it. You know how niggas, Cody and Seth, excuse me, are still rivals.
Right.
We
Right.
haven't seen it.
We're waiting for that. Yeah.
We haven't seen them wrestle in a long time, but they still hate each other. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you can still have Solo wrestle with Jimmy for however long. That's his brother. You know what I'm saying? So eventually,
Imagine himself calling them the new Usos.
the new souls.
That would be
The new shows would be
crazy.
funny. It'd be
And
like
super heel.
it'll be like Harlem Heat 2000, but like much better.
With Zeus and Stevie Ray.